All right, y'all. So I'm here to talk to you about Sinners. Okay, very great movie. All right, very great movie. First of all, let's start with this cast here. All right. I don't know everybody's names. I'm not even gonna pretend to. Okay, you got Michael B. Jordan in the middle. Hailee. Also, this review is heavily spoiler heavy. You've been warned. Like, get out now. If you want a review that's free of spoilers, there's no way for me to talk about what I need to talk about in this movie and not be spoiler heavy. All right. All right. So look, the young man on the right, all right, of Michael B. Jordan, when you're looking at this video, uh, he is a musician. He plays guitar. We'll get back to that premise of the movie as well. Then you have the lady on the left. She does hoodoo. All right, she does hoodoo or voodoo or whatever you want to call it. I believe it's more so hoodoo. For this particular movie, not voodoo. And I'll break down hoodoo as well, because that's important. The lady on the far left, she's a singer. She is married. Uh, she is married. And then the Asian lady, she's a store owner on the right. And really, the whole reason and premise that they're even able to get in is her fault. All right. There's no nice way to slice and dice it. It just straight up is. It just straight up is. It's her fault. All right. Now, why do I say that? Because the vampires, okay, and the spirits of darkness cannot come into your life unless you invite them in. You have to do something to invite them into your life, and then it's absurdly hard to get rid of them. Um, and that principle is why I'm making this video, because that right there I found to be absolutely fascinating as a premise, that no matter what these vampires or whatever want to do, if you're within your home, if you're at home where you're supposed to be, if you're like, they can't come in your home, they can't hurt you. But if you're outside in the wilderness, then there's no hedge of protection around you, uh, so to speak. Now, there's also an alliteration there to, like, is it? Well, I might be using the wrong word by saying alliteration, but it's to talk about how like God protects you and things of that nature. But needless to say, this scene here, all right, and this Asian lady, she's stupid. Okay, she's extremely stupid. All they have to do to keep them out is to not invite them in. But she did it anyway. She invited them in anyway because she thought they were going to protect her daughter. But it was just a provocation. They can't actually hurt her unless she's invited in, unless they're invited in, and they weren't going to do that because what they wanted was the boy. They wanted the boy on the right. All right. Now, anyway, before I get into the meat and potatoes of my video, I do want to say this about this one particular scene. Ma'am, you have to be the biggest idiot of all time. This is the dumbest. I've never seen a character do something so dumb before in my life. There was no reason for her to go outside. Y'all already knew they were weirdos. Y'all already knew that she thought she was protected from the evil that they were because she's fair skinned too, which is a little like subplot in the movie. But I mean, it's obvious because it's 19 before Civil Rights Act, Louisiana. So yeah, there's racism involved. because there's still Jim Crow. But at the same time, I, she's mixed. Okay, she's playing a mixed girl. So her one of her parents is black and white, and the other one's just white, right? So that's how she ends up looking the way she is, and that's why she ends up white passing, and she ends up being able to marry herself a white husband and all this other stuff. But she thought she could go out there and fellowship with evil because the evil looked like her. But even when the evil looks like you're not safe from being tainted, and it also, taking over your world, because she got turned into, though all those three, they're vampires. So she got taken over and turned into a vampire too. Like you're not safe just because, you know, all like how they say all kinfolk ain't kinfolk. Like that was the that was that incarnate what happened there. And it also alludes to greed and this movie being sinners. If you notice something very interesting when you're watching the film, like if you're somebody that's listening to my review and then you're gonna go watch the film, or you're somebody that may rewatch the film, or if you're like remembering it, like I am here, everybody there that died, like sinned, like what I'm saying, they all stepped away from what they should have been doing. All right, and again, I'll get back to that point a little bit later. Now, one of the things I did like in this movie was the young man, like how music and the blues, like they were saying, like how our music connects us to our ancestors, but it also attracts evil, and that's a great literary device there, or not literary because it's not in literature. Well, I mean they did write the script, but it works really well because when you think about it, right? Satan, Lucifer, what I'm saying, he was an angel of music previously, but then he got kicked out and all that. He got kicked out of heaven and all that stuff. If you know Christian Bible facts, the thing with this movie is that when you're doing that, you're doing the music and all that, you can connect with your ancestors. They were saying past, present, and future, but they said you also attract evil. You attract demons. But why would you attract them? Why would you even attract them? Because music. And they like music because the head of the evil is a musician at the end of the day, when you really think about it. So it's not far fetched that you're doing music and you not being weary of who you're doing your music for or to. You could attract evil spirits, and then uh those spirits end up entering into your life or trying to get into your life or tempting you to invite them in. Now, now, with that being said, all right, the hoodoo is what I found to be most interesting of the whole movie because again, I don't know much. I dated a woman before who was into that, and I wanted to ask her more and I wanted to dive deeper into it, but it was a twofold thing. It was like one, I was like interested, but I wasn't like trying to like do it or anything. I just wanted to know information. Um, but at the same time, because she's saying that it's not voodoo, whatever. It's like what I'm saying, she was saying like it has some spiritual connection to God. What I'm saying, and this is how we used to connect with God, and then they turned all of it around on us and called it voodoo and wanted us to practice religion in the way in which they practice religion, which I found to be like what she's saying, to be interesting. Like I couldn't argue against anything necessarily that she said, but it was it was something to think about. She definitely gave me things to think about. Um, with that said, though, the main character, one of the main characters, because both of the main characters are Michael B. Jordan. Um, and one of his characters is kind of like the main twin. Uh, with that being said, he wore a necklace made by her. It was like a charm or and with hoodoo and all that involved, and it always kept him safe. Whenever he wears it, he's safe. He's good. Like nothing will happen to him. And sure enough, like he's the only person that walked out of that situation unscathed. Like he literally walked out of the situation not a vampire, not hurt, like anything. He didn't even have to get involved when he did. Like, I mean, well, do what he did where he killed he ends up at the end killing all these KKK members, right? And it's ironic because the KKK members in the beginning of the movie let in the first vampire. They let him into this house. Okay, I'm stopping the music. It's bothering me. But anyway, it it let him he let him in, and because when you let it into your life, into your house, it then will then set up shop and try to establish dominion over your body and spiritual territory and all that. And one of the interesting interactions is when they interact with her specifically, they do not like her and they do not like interacting with her. Period. Dot. They don't. They call her witch. They call her all sorts of things, but they do not like interacting with her. They try and tempt everyone else because she can see them for what they are, and she has knowledge on her side about what they are. But everyone else can be easily fooled and manipulated. You know what I'm saying? She's stronger spiritually and in her faith and different things of that nature. And it brings together one of the points of, like, you know what I'm saying, making sure you pray it up and you do what you got to do to continue to be who you have to be. Um yeah. Um but with that said, I do think this movie, um, like score wise, cinema wise, was amazing. And then the last, but certainly not least, spiritual point that they made, and I found this also to be like very telling. It's this church scene, and in this church scene, it plays somewhat at the beginning of the movie, but it's really from the end of the film. And what happens there is they set up the premise of whether or not he's going to let go of the guitar. Because if he could let go of the guitar, if he could let go of the music, if he could let go of what is allowing this to have entry into his life, then he could just live a good, holy life. You know what I'm saying? Grow old, have kids, all that other stuff, and not run into any problems. But instead, he insists on, no, I'm going to follow this through. I'm going to become a musician. I'm going to go out and play. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to let this deter me. This one crazy situation where everybody that was there died, like, and became vampires and then got cooked by the sun. Big spoiler here. Again, if you're somehow still watching me talk about this movie, Michael B. Jordan and Hailee Steinfeld, okay, their characters, okay, the white girl and the black dude, that because one of the twins got turned into a vampire as well. So Michael B. Jordan was a vampire and he was a human at the same time. It was kind of dope. It's really dope. Even their fight scenes, like Ryan Coogler, bro, like bro, Ryan Coogler, his writing team, all them people, everybody around there, the creatives, like all people involved. Kudos, bro. Bravo. This is a 10 out of 10 film. It's a good film, period. Whether you're white, black, or whatever. I'm gonna stand by that. But to get back to my point here, he won't let it go. And his father's a preacher, and so he decides to, you know, even with the scars on the face, he decides to leave and pursue music. After all of that, after all of that happened, he still went down that path. And later on, he gets visited by Michael B. Jordan's character, one of the twins, and the girl, and they let him know that the only reason they haven't come for him and killed him is because uh his brother made him promise that he wouldn't kill him, that he wouldn't hurt him. He's like, I'll let you go, but you have to promise me not to hurt him. Like, you have to promise. There's also a scene in there where they're like, he's a vampire and he could bite his brother, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to hurt his brother. So you can see he's still in there fighting back, and they are only truly free to walk their own dark path together and like love each other. Um those the two characters when they finally killed the vampire, right? Because otherwise he had direct control over them, but once he got cooked in the sunlight, he dies, and then so now they're just vampires of their own free will. But it doesn't kill off all the rest of the vampires. But the spirituality stuff of this movie, and again, I'm just giving y'all what I got from it and what I know. There's gonna be other people that are gonna do like other breakdowns, and it's gonna go even further and gonna be even deeper. But I do want to point out these things, that maybe my video is like a level 1, level 2 understanding of, like, because I don't have an understanding of Hoodoo, and I really don't have an interest to go that far into it. Like, I don't. There's, again, like with this movie's premise, there's certain things, the less you know, the better. The Once you know about certain things, then you start to, it's like you lose your innocence and you start to go further and further down different avenues, and you start to know more and more and more. It's just like people, like, for instance, like, I'll use a really crazy example, but good example, like porn. Like, if you never seen it, you would never watch it, and then you never end up, you probably wouldn't like masturbate like that. You know what I mean? You probably wouldn't. You probably wouldn't. But you know what I'm saying? When you're confronted with that, and it just becomes and you're inviting like all these people and all these things into your life. So it's just very important to, when you are like trying to go down a certain path, that you don't invite evil in, because once the evil comes into your life, however it is, whether it's stealing, uh you know what I'm saying, getting money illegally, murder, you name it. Like, once you invite that into your life, like it's bound to happen to you. It's bound to happen to you. It's bound to affect your life in some way negatively. It's gonna come. It's gonna happen. But anyway, that's my review, and that's what I think about the Sinners movie. Again, definitely, definitely a 10 out of, get that off my screen. A 10 out of 10, okay? 10 out of 10 film. Uh if for some reason when you're watching this on playback, you did not see any images, it's because Warner Brothers uh copyright claimed my video. So I'm gonna upload it with the images, and I'm gonna hope for the best. If not, hey, it's not me. It's not me. It's them. Okay, it's not me. It's YouTube. It's Warner Bros. Okay. Anyway, it's a 10 out of 10. Definitely go watch it. Definitely go tap into it. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the hoodoo and the spirituality aspects and the ancestors, like communicating with your ancestors, and how being on that spiritual plane, if you're not being unwary, if you're not weary, you could end up entertaining a spirit that's not even your ancestors, and it ends up being a demon or the vampires. But really, they were talking about demons. Yeah, and again about and the thing with evil only being able to be in your life if you invite it in, because most of the bad things that happen to you, like when you talk about like bad habits and things of that nature, it all started with something you did, some decision you made to where it ended up being a part of your life. um and yeah, man. Again, tomorrow's Sunday, so if you end up watching this video, and for some reason, if my words hit rung true to you in some type of way, I mean, you could go to church tomorrow. You could go to church. Like, why not? I'm definitely gonna go. I'm gonna try. But anyway, it's not. I'm gonna try. I'm definitely gonna go. It's just what church I'm gonna go to. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thinking in the comment section down below. Peace. I'm gonna get up out of here.